Hello, how's it? Greetings from South Africa. And what am I doing now? I'm going to read another psalm. Psalms 127 from the New King James Version. Laboring and prospering with the Lord. A song of ascents of Solomon. Unless the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain who build it. Unless the Lord guards the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, for so he gives his beloved sleep. Behold, children are a heritage from the Lord. The fruit of the womb is a reward. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior, so are the children of one's youth. Happy is the man who has a quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but shall speak with their enemies in the gate. That is so beautiful. Sure. There's a lot in that. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to that later. I almost want to read it again and again, but you can do that. I'm gonna also read Psalm 128. Blessings of those who fear the Lord. A song of ascents. New King James Version. Blessed is everyone who fears the Lord, who walks in his ways. When you eat the labor of your hands, you shall be happy, and it shall be well with you. Your wife shall be like a fruitful vine in the very heart of your house, your children like olive plants all around your table. Behold, thus shall a man be blessed who fears the Lord. The Lord bless you out of Zion, and may you see the good of Jerusalem all the days of your life. Yes, may you see your children's children. Peace be upon Israel. That is it's a blessing. That can be a prayer that's so beautiful. It is like, wow. I'm going to carry on. Wow. Sure. Maybe I'll leave it there. I'll go back. That is so beautiful. I mean, does that not reflect so well of how good God is, his faithfulness, his mercy, how he cares for everyone, how he doesn't, it's like, this is making me think of something in my own youth that was just something growing up that, what can I say, I didn't understand, but it wasn't part of how I was being raised, so it was also, what I'm referring to is like, I didn't know, or I didn't know yet, nor did I understand, nor could I even put things together or suspect or formulate a curious question. Anyway, and I was a kid, I was a child. What can I say? I can't explain everything, but it was a while ago. And, looking back, it's like difficult to remember everything, but there are certain things where let's say if I'm sitting at the table with God, I'd love to ask him, but this is not our top priority. It would just be interesting for me to be able to understand, with the intention of maybe there's somebody else who has a question about it, or maybe there's something within it that perhaps I can find more clarity about to be able to share with another person, because I feel like there could be more clarity in what I'm busy describing, which I haven't yet said. Okay, so, but it's also difficult to put words to, especially since I'm like, it's like right now on the spot. Anyway, I think when I was younger, and I've said everything I've just said, and it was almost as if I did not know, or I misunderstood, but understood or thought for some reason that I was exempt, or that I wasn't someone who could be a Christian, or but you know, now it's now difficult to actually put words to this, because I was a kid, so it's not like I had any words, but I think in my innocence, I went to church with friends, or with a friend, and I would sit there, and it was actually for many years, and I am very, very grateful for them having done that. But it was normal. It was normal for them, but for me it was like I was just being brought along. And usually it was like when kids have sleepovers, and then it's like on a Friday night, and then you beg your parents, okay, the Saturday night as well, and or slumber parties or whatever. When life is not too hectic. Well, so I think it was in primary school, something like that. Can't remember. Or throughout primary school. It was actually for many years. But for some reason, and I would actually love it. And that would be the way that I would actually attend church. But for some reason, when I was young, I never thought that was for me. And I always felt like I'm just this add-on, but it's not, and I can sit there and learn, and I used to make notes sometimes, but I didn't quite understand like the relevance of it all, or how it was a part of life. I didn't, and also, yeah, I think the way I was raised, what was that? The way I was raised, it wasn't the same way, and I have nothing against my parents, because it goes back to perhaps the way that they grew up and whatever they went through. And also, anyway, growing up, it was like I had this weird idea that it wasn't applicable to me, or that I wasn't allowed to fully integrate into it, or that, I don't know, I'm not sure, or maybe I had the shyness, or I was afraid, or I just didn't know how to, or what to express. Like, I want this, can I be a part of this? I also want to do this, but, and maybe maybe as a kid, and I can't really place it now, but maybe hidden in my heart was something that looked forward to sleeping over yet another night into Sunday, being able to attend with church with my friend, and actually liking being there, although I always felt like a guest. It wasn't me, or it wasn't part of my life, but I got to see into it. And for many, many years, it was like I was an outsider, and I didn't know that I was allowed inside. And those words are words that I want to say. Okay, I've said them, but they're not the right words to say. And it's like, no, it's available for everybody. What was it that Simon Peter said when he could finally speak? That God shows no partiality. And now I want to go into a deep dive, but because I think that's really beautiful, and it's really a beautiful thing to realize, and it's also difficult to pass out, and I'm trying to talk about my own personal experience, and I'm referring to my childhood. Now it's very different, and obviously I've grown up, and I can't exactly place any of my perspectives properly as a child, but because a lot of it was blank. I just didn't know, and I didn't know I was allowed to be a part of it, even though it's free. You're free to choose, and God is there, whether you like it or not. And God Almighty is eternal. He is Al Olam to Al Olam. He is the creator of the universe. He's agape. He is available to each and everybody. You are not insignificant. If you are here on this earth and you are breathing, God is available. And I am not talking about just any God. I'm talking about God Almighty, creator of the universe, who has a son, who sent his son Jesus down. And I'm not gonna, it's just, I'm not confused about that. And I think there can be a lot of confusion around that kind of thing, which leads me to want to say, okay, if there's confusion, stop dwelling in the confusion. How about one step at a time, going towards finding clarity? And clarity is not something that is like a just like click your fingers. It's can be learned. There's a process to it. You don't have to panic about it. But it would be revealed or understood better through learning, through being with other people. So it's like the company you keep, or the company you seek, or the places where you go and look, or what your heart is actually looking for, who you think you are, or who you think you need, or where you are in life, or do you want to live? If you had the choice, which you do you choose life? And you do actually have a choice. And I'm talking about more than mental. I've been through a lot of mental stuff, and I'm not talking about ending your life. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about you choose life. No, I'm talking about to continue on into you choose life, because choosing life is very important as a part of life. And I mean, it's very important for that to be awakened inside of you, because once you do choose life, then you see, or then you can begin to see and eventually come to a point. This is from my own experience. I'm not telling you what to do or dictating over you your own experience that you haven't yet had or anything like that. It's just I'm trying the best to share what I can, and I'm not a perfect person. All of this is a process for me as well, and please don't think that this is not extremely challenging. Oh gosh. Anyway, so and so when I did, and sometimes, you know, I don't think it's only for me. Sometimes it can be almost like a continual choose life, like. But ultimately, there comes a point where it's like a huge change. It's where you really choose life, or when you grasp that it's like beyond this one. It's more into the inner man, the spiritual sense, spiritual life, not spiritual death. There's a huge difference. There is a huge difference. I mean, I would hope not that I wouldn't have to explain the difference. It's just, it is vital to choose life. And I guess I kind of want to end there. And I guess, I want to end there again and again. It's a really important thing to know. You can know it. You don't have to do anything with it now, but just keep that in remembrance. Really. And also, when I say that, it is good news. It's a good thing. And I'm very grateful that even though I lived like very much in the dark for most of my life, God still did things and placed people in my life, and miraculously did I come to a place where I actually did that, where it's just God brought me through. It's like all glory to Him, quite literally. Even now, sometimes I have days where I'm just like, because it's almost unexplainable, and His love is sometimes so overwhelming and beautiful and so clarifying and clear, or He makes it clear, that it's almost like brings you into His presence, and He lets you know that you are clean from your past. You can let it go, and even if you want to bring past confusions or things back, it's ultimately there in the past. And it's amazing that you can keep returning to this amazing source, and the source is available to everybody. It's more than enough. God is more than enough. And it doesn't matter who you are, you can still make that choice. I mean, sure, unfortunately, for some, maybe they're lying on their deathbed, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm saying this can be a huge relief for your family. It's just that you make a choice, that you can ensure that you can go to heaven. But this is not a message that I feel competent to share. It's just, I think in many people's hearts they do want that for their other family members, especially to have some sort of knowing, I guess, of where they would go should anything happen. But you can't force anyone to do that. You can't push. You just can't. You can pray for them. You can try and be there as much as you can. Ultimately, it's each person's choice. It's like this personal choice, and God is not going to force you. And again, I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again. That's a forcing love. It's not good. That's not how He is. He's way better than that. He's amazing. He's not going to force Himself on you. He's of integrity, respect, goodness. He's so good that He's just there. That you decide to go to Him. And because He's so good and faithful, every time every time I return to him again and again, he's just been there. And that's why I can say, and this is not something I can be shaken off of, is that he has never left nor forsaken me. Never. He's always been there, and he continues to be there. And sometimes I'm quite surprised. But I'm quite surprised because of my own humanness that I can get caught up in. And pleasantly surprised when I return into his presence, and it's like, yet still, even now, even whenever, and every time it's worth it. So I guess that's me trying to talk about choosing life, and I guess I'm trying to express what that means to me, but I also am trying to express what that means to me in my heart towards what I would want other people to also realize or experience or have. Not that it's up to me, but it's just, I can't help but care. Sometimes that feels a bit sore in my heart, but I don't want other people to hurt. But if you are hurting, then I do want you to know where to go with that hurt, and who takes care. It's that God is amazing. He heals. He's a miracle worker. He can, whatever you think is impossible, he can make it possible. He's got the plans. He's got everything for you. He's there for you. He's ready. He is ready. And I think that maybe we can overcomplicate things with, and it's not, we don't have to earn his love. It's not that you need to climb this whole thing. It's about choosing life. So just deciding, okay, I'm gonna maybe make a change, or deciding I'm gonna go for this. I'm gonna walk towards you. I'm deciding to let God in, deciding to turn towards him. He's there for you. He's waiting. He's like a gentleman. And he wants that for you. He wants to get his family back, and that's how much he cares. It's like, you're not too far gone. You're not too lost. If you can understand this and still be able to find it within yourself to really dig deep and take that mustard seed of faith and put action to it by saying, whoa, I'm going to plant this in love, and I'm going to move on this word. I'm going to say, yes, yes, Lord, I choose you. I choose life. I want to have life. I'm tired of this sin and shame, and I want to see what this can do. What is this hope? What is this faith? What is this thing that everybody talks about that I don't understand? Or I'm tired of fighting, or it's, yeah. It's if you really can let go of all the layers and see to what your spirit wants and what your spirit thirsts for. It is him. It is the ultimate source, living water. Anyway, God bless you. Maybe that was a weird one. I'm not sure if I will post this, but then again, I did put time into it, and I guess a person might say, oh, I veered off topic, but what topic was I really talking about, except for I'm here, and something in me feels for someone else that possibly needs something within what I'm saying, but it's not me, it's my hope that God speaks through me, or that something ignites something in you that reminds you of the goodness that's in you, of the light that's there that can guide you, or of the reminder to get up and walk, to remind you or give your heart a little bit of a beat and your breath a little bit of a depth, and to awaken a little bit more to the beauty of life that you are in.